All right, now we're doing 7Q simple fun number 213. Is function. This is by my Jinx in 2015, and 93% of the people like it. In mathematics, a function is a relation between a set of inputs and a set of permissible outputs with the property that each input is related to exactly one output. In other words, for every x from the set of inputs, there is exactly one element y from the set of outputs, such that the ordered pair x, y is contained in the set defining the function. We are given a set of pairs that define something. Our task is to figure out whether this something can be a function or not. So the input and output, the input's going to be a non-empty set of pairs. Each pair is given as two element arrays, as a two element array, where the first input belongs to the set of inputs and the second belongs to the set of outputs. And the output is going to be a Boolean value, which is going to be true if the given set can define a function, and false if not. All right. So right here, as we see, the x's are different, so it's going to be true. On here, we've got two that have the same x's, but the y's are different, which means it's false. Okay. And a given set can't possibly define a function since values y equals 1 and y equals 6 both correspond to the value x equals 5. Okay, cool. Little refresher right there. What we're going to do is we're going to iterate through these sets of arrays, right? And then we're going to check if this one here, like if the x's are different, but if they are the same, and these two, the y's are different, we're going to say false. So if the x's are the same when we check and the y's are different when we check, it's going to be false. And then otherwise it's going to be true. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to say for. So what I'm trying to say here is we're going to have to do two fors, one for the x, one for the y. All right. So for this, we're going to say for, and then we're going to go let index equals 0, right? And while index is less than pairs dot length minus 1, because when we get to this one, we don't have another one to check, so we don't need to bother with doing this one, okay? And we're going to say index plus plus, okay? And then we're going to do this right there. And I'm going to take all this, and we're going to just do it again right here, changing a couple things up. We're going to change this to 2. We're going to change this to 1, because we're calling this one index 2. And we don't need this to end at 1, because this one's going to go all the way over this, all the way to the end. So first we're going to have it be at index 1. So index is going to be here, and then index 2 is going to be here, and then it's going to iterate again, index 2, and then index, and then it's going to check, what am I saying, 2? Index 1, index 2, index 3, and then index 1 is going to check index 2, index 3, and then just like that. All right. So what we're going to do now is what is that? An if statement. We're going to say if. What are we going to do if? If pairs at the current index at 0. Okay, so if this one equals pairs, we can just take this. So all we're going to do is change the index to 2, all right? And now we're going to say and then we're going to just take this whole thing, put it over here, change this to 1 at index 1 does not equal index 1. So like I keep saying, the x's, if the x's equal and the y's don't equal, it's going to return Oh, is that enough? Is that cool? Because that's too many. No, that's cool. Okay. Is that cool? What's that going to? Okay. There we go. Anyway, hopefully that's cool. All right, so if whatever's at index 0 equals on both of them, and if whatever's at index 1 doesn't equal, we're going to say return false. All right? And then down here, we're going to say return true. That's not true. That's true. All right, test it out. Not good. What's the problem? What's the problem, Robin? Yeah, what is this? Okay, cool. Let's try it again. All right. Attempt it. All right, so this thing's 42 milliseconds on that one. 42. Let's make this a concise syntax, all right? Because that's a lot of typing. Let's say const here equals pairs and equals, oops. All right, and let's take this and get that out of here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to check through these, see if we're going to pretty much do the same thing, except for the second check is going to just check if the 1, 2, 3, if like there's any like repeating arrays like this one, like this one here where there's a 4, 5 and a 4, 5. All right. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So first thing we're going to use is this set object. And set object lets us store unique values of any type, whether primitive values or object references. All right? And a value in a set may only occur once. So that's how we're going to check if these repeat. So we're going to say new set, all right? And then right here we're going to say pairs dot map. Okay, and when the map, it basically just creates a new array populated with the results of calling a provided function on every element in the calling array. So this one has x times 2, so it's just going to multiply each one of these elements times 2. So the answer is going to be 2, 8, 18, and 32 from 1, 4, 9, and 16. The syntax we're going to use here is just the regular old element index, excuse me, element syntax, I should say. All right, so we're going to say map element, and we just want element at 0. So we're checking, we're just throwing an array in there in a set, remember, because there's going to be no repeats. That's checking, it's just taking these x values, right? And so this one, for this one, it's going to come back with 3 because there's 2 5s, so it gets rid of one of the 5s and says 1, 2, 3 right there, because we're going to say dot size. The set dot prototype dot size, basically you just put size after any set and it tells you how big the set is, all right? And then we're going to see if this equals, let's just take this whole thing right here and we'll change it up just a little bit, all right? And instead of pairs.map this stuff, we're just going to put in there the string constructor. String. No. String. Right? And the string constructor basically is just used to create a new string object. Okay? And usually we don't find ourselves using string, but this one works because string and map, it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship. String knows that map's looking for string, and map knows that string's looking for map, or something like the element, whatever. Anyway, so let's test it out, see what happens. No. What's the problem here? What's the problem here? Set pairs on the string size. What's the problem here? Missing what after argument? Oh, look. Just like this. All right, I did not want to have to re-record this thing. All right, cool. Attempt it. This is already like my 3rd time. And 46 seconds, so this one doesn't even win in the first place. So you don't even need to bother with this thing. Let's go back in time, all the way here. Let's test it out. because this is the faster one by 4 milliseconds. Attempt it. Look, 34 on this one. Yeah, this is totally the winner. So we submit it very much like this one. My solutions, just me. Best practice in my opinion. And we'll see you next time.